Hey class, in this video I'm going to go over submitting the website project. I did actually forget one important concept in our previous video, so I'm going to go over that quickly. But most of this video will just talk about how to submit the project. So in the previous video we were mostly talking about layout, and I talked about ID, and specifically using the container ID and the choices ID to add styles to those specific divs. Another thing that we often do is add styles to a group of things. So things that there's more than one that have that distinction, but we want to add the same style to all of those things. When we do that, that's called a class. And so in CSS, we have IDs and we have classes. IDs are for a single thing on the page, and classes are for multiple things on the page. And that basically makes sense based on the terminology. ID is like identifier, it's like one specific thing. Class is like a group, like we have a class of students who are taking this course, and so every student in that class has their own ID, but we all have other attributes that we share. So for an example, we have these two choices, and let's say we want these two paragraphs to have a different color or some other different style. I'll just use color as an example, but we don't want to apply that to all of our paragraphs. So we have a paragraph and I change the color here, it's going to change the color of all of our paragraphs. But if we make a class, and the way that I can do that is I can create, let's say we have a rule, but I can add a dot. And a dot represents a class. So let's say I have a class for a choice, and if I have a rule there, then that'll only apply to paragraphs that have that class. So let's add that here. So this is another attribute. It looks just like ID, but we use class instead. So I can say paragraph class equals choice, and I can add the same class to this other paragraph that is also a choice. And so then if I go to my style.css, last time we used hashtag, this is for ID. For a class, we use a dot. So dot choice, let's just change the color, but of course you can change any of the styles if you want. So let's set the color and let's set it to yellow, so it'll stand out a little bit more. I'm going to ignore that suggestion, and so when I reload the page, so now you can see our paragraphs with the class choice have this yellow color. Our paragraphs that do not have that attribute are just our regular style. So you can see in the styles here, paragraph, it gets assigned the color first for all paragraphs, but then the dot choice, this class, overrides that previous rule. So we have the yellow used there. So that's just a class. Our websites are not super complicated, so you may not need to use that, but it's one of the fundamental sort of concepts in CSS. So I wanted to make sure that we covered that before we finish our web development unit. Okay, so we have our website. Let's go ahead and make a post about it so we can submit the project on Blackboard. So in our post, we're going to want a link to our code, and then we're also going to want an image that shows what our page looks like. So I have the website open here. You may want to change the size of the browser or do different things depending on what your website looks like. I might pull this out into a new browser window and make it a little smaller so it kind of fits the design a little bit better. And then if I'm on a Mac, I can hit Command-Shift-4 to get a little target, and then I'm going to change that into a camera by hitting space and then take a picture of that. And you'll see the screenshot comes up here. I can edit that screenshot, but if I just don't touch it, you're going to see that it's going to put itself on the desktop in a second. So there's that screenshot. If you have a lot going on in the site and you want to show all the options, you can take multiple screenshots. If you have images and stuff, this may, you can make sure to get all that, but I'm just going to get a few screenshots just to show the different pages of the website. So now we can close this, and I'll make this larger again. Let's go to our class blog. And so here's everything that you need for the website. Make sure to review this and review the rubric in Blackboard as well. but we just need a URL for the published version of the project, URL for the code in this case code sandbox, not P5, and then a short template as usual, our statement, and we can use this template for the statement. So let's make our post. I'm going to click the plus button, and I'm going to call this my website. And remember, we have to select a category. So I'm going to choose website. And I'm going to start with the images just to give something nice to look at. So I'm going to, instead of image, I'm actually going to choose gallery here so I can put my images all together. And I'll click upload and go to my desktop and upload all 3 screenshots. And so we can see all the pages of the website. And so then we'll do the title is choose your own adventure. And of course, just use whatever your the title for your project is here. This is in spring 2024, and we used HTML and CSS to create the website. And so then just make a short template about the project, what you used to create it, any ideas that you had, anything that you wanted to put in there. Just notice there's a little typo here, but I can't edit this, so we'll just ignore that. Okay, so I'm gonna say my website is a choose your own adventure story for MMP 100. The user can choose the path of the animator or designer. Again, I haven't completely filled this out. This is just a template to get started, so your project should have more pages and more possibilities. So we can take a look at the preview of this, and that looks good. And remember to include a link to the site and to your code. So I'm going to say live site here. And to get the link to the live site, I closed my preview window. So if I need to see this again, how do I do that? Let's see. I'm gonna go to share. And then, okay, there's a share URL. So I'm gonna copy this, and don't include editor layout because that makes the URL really long. So this is the share URL. So this opens this up. Let's see, how do I run this? So I close the preview window. There's got to be a way to preview this. Let's look at our buttons here. Okay, editor. There. Okay, so we can go to editor, embed preview, and then run the preview. I have a feeling I can probably drag this over here. I can drag this up here. Nope, it's not really letting me do that. Okay, still have some things to figure out. But anyway, the main thing I want to do is click on this preview button here. And then I'm just going to copy that and paste that here. And if I want to make this a link, just select the text and click on the link button and click open in a new tab. So then we can say link to project. And so this should go to the editor. So copy the share URL here and paste that in there. And if you want to test if that's going to be visible, make sure that it's public. So if you forget to set your project to public, I won't be able to see it. So if you want to test if that's public, you can open an incognito window in Chrome so you won't be logged in. So you can go to File and go to New Incognito window, or hit Command-Shift-N, and you can paste that link in there, and you should see the actual code. So if you have a project that is not set to public, then people will not be able to see the code. And so the default is actually that it's private. And so if you look on the share button and this doesn't say public, I'm not going to be able to see it, so I won't be able to look at your code. So make sure before you share, set this to public. So we've got our link to the project, we've got a link to the code, and so we're all good to go. We're gonna click publish. And then on Blackboard, this is all you're gonna submit is a link to the published OpenLab post. So not the editor window that we're in right now, but the actual post. So right here, we're gonna copy this and then go over to Blackboard. And I'm gonna turn on student preview mode and go into assignments, and you'll see the website. And so all you have to put here, as long as you have everything added in there, is just a link to the website itself, and click submit. So that's it. Unless if as long as you didn't, we didn't use any edit files. There's no Photoshop files or Audacity files, so we don't have to upload any files here. I also didn't use any images from other sources, but if you did use images from other sources, make sure to put our normal image attribution here. You can do that to add some imageries to the website if you would like to. Just make sure to include our normal attributions. But anyway, that should be everything that we need to do. So let me know if you have any questions or if you get stuck on any part of that process, and we can go over it. That's going to be due next Monday. So just let me know if you have any questions, if you want to work on anything together. We can go over it in office hours tomorrow or Wednesday, or another time this week.